In this video, we're going to explore the use of Task Manager to troubleshoot problems in the Windows environment. So I wanted to record a video that gives users a basic idea on how to use the Task Manager. Now you'll notice that I'm running Windows 10, but this doesn't really matter because Task Manager is accessible in most of the different versions of Windows through the same procedure. What I usually do to get to Task Manager is move your mouse down to the taskbar area, specifically the blank area here where there aren't other icons, or the taskbar, the task area. And what I like to do is right click on that empty space. And you'll get a context menu that pops up, and one of the options will be Task Manager. In different versions of Windows, Task Manager is going to look different. In the older versions of Windows, Task Manager is very basic, and recent changes to Windows have made Task Manager pretty robust. And so here we have Task Manager. It's popped up. You'll see that it shows I'm running 5 programs. Now Microsoft Edge is the Windows 10 browser, Google Chrome, which you can see behind the window. Cam Studio is the program I'm using to record this video. Task Manager is obviously running. We also have a program that uses Java, and so that's why that shows up. Now you can, in Windows 10, you can click on more details and get an even more detailed list of information. What I usually like to do when I'm in Task Manager is first thing I'll do is sort everything by name, and then that way I get an alphabetical listing of the things that are running, and then that way I can look for what it is that I'm wanting to find in an efficient manner. So you'll notice also there are columns here, the CPU and the memory column. Those are very important columns because this CPU column will give you a sense of what percentage of the CPU's processing power is being used by different programs. You see Cam Studio, which I'm recording this video with, it's hovering right around 9 or 10% of the CPU's processing power. We've got a couple of other things here that are using some processing power. You see Google Chrome here in the listing is using some processing power. But you also want to pay attention to this memory column. And you can use these columns to sort by, just like we sorted by name over here. I can sort by what's using the most processing power. Once I do that, you see that Cam Studio, which is at 10%, is my top CPU power hog. Chrome's up there as well, and then everything kind of falls underneath that. You can also sort by what percentage of the physical memory is being used by individual processes, and I like to do this to get a sense of which programs might be causing my computer to run slow if I think it's running slow, and that's why I've launched the Task Manager. Here I see that this Java program is taking up 392 megabytes of memory. This system has 4 gigs of memory installed, so that's not a huge percentage. That doesn't bother me. But if it were to get excessive, then that might be a sign that that thing is not behaving itself. You see Google Drive is taking up 117 megabytes of physical memory. I've got several instances of Google Chrome, and that's just because I have several tabs. Every time you have a tab open in Chrome, it's really a different version of the software. And these things change, so I can continue to sort by these columns to get a sense of how the programs are changing, if they're growing in their use of memory or CPU. And again, I can go back and sort things alphabetically as well. This gives me a sense of what's running on the computer. In Windows 10, and I think also in Windows 8, you have other tabs up here. I'm not going to discuss those in this video because they don't apply to earlier versions of Task Manager in Windows 7 and Windows Vista and things like that. So if you were to find, by searching and examining what's here, if you were to find something that were suspicious, something that's bothering you, you can use context menus by right-clicking on any of these. You get a context menu that pops up. The number one item in that context menu is End Task. I use this more often than any of the others. Windows 10 has this Search Online tool, which is kind of cool. If you see something that you don't recognize and you're wondering about it, like I could right-click on this and hit Search Online, and it's going to launch a search window that specifically looks for information about that process, DWN, the Desktop Windows Manager, and you'll get information off of the internet about that. That's kind of cool, especially if you're looking at something here that you don't recognize. That might be useful. Otherwise, for the most part, you're going to know what these things are. The more familiar you are with a computer, the more familiar you'll be with a lot of these different things in your list. But let's say, for example, let's say I had this program. It's using 20.1 megs of memory right now. Let's say it was using 500 megs and it was getting bigger all the time, like 500 megs, 502 megs, 506 megs, 510 megs. If it's growing out of control and my computer's getting bogged down, I could right click and go to End Task, and Windows is going to kill that process. And so now if I look, I can sort things by name. I can go looking for Microsoft Edge. You see there's still 3 versions of it because over here I had 4 tabs open, and I just killed one of them and closed another. So if I search again, it shows that 3 are running. If I closed the whole program altogether and then did my search, you'll see that Microsoft Edge doesn't even show up in my list of things that are running because, of course, I closed the program. So Task Manager can be something that you use to kill a program, especially one that doesn't respond. You know, you go to the upper right hand corner, you click this X to try to close a program, and it doesn't work, and then you get that cool Windows message that says this program is not responding. You can always use the Windows Task Manager to dive into your list of things that are running and kill the stuff that's getting in your way. You know, you can also use it, you know, if you have a program that you know isn't running because it doesn't show up in your list of running programs down on your taskbar, but it shows up here, that's usually suspicious, and you would want to kill something like that. Again, you right click, go to End Task, and then it'll end that particular task. You can look up resource values, like how much of the resource is using. You know, sometimes that's useful. So basically, that is a video, and thanks for watching.